Imagine sitting in a luxury hotel in Paris while government officials slides a stack of papers across the table. Everything looks authentic. The documents have official seals. Every question you ask gets a confident answer, and you're about to spend a fortune buying the Eiffel Tower. There's just one problem. The Eiffel Tower isn't for sale. Hello, my friends. I'm Amber Joy. Today I'm going to tell you the unbelievable true story of Victor Lustig, the con artist who convinced not one, but two groups of businessmen that they could buy one of the most famous landmarks in the world. Victor had an incredible talent for making people trust him. One day in 1925, while reading a newspaper, he came across an article explaining that the Eiffel Tower was becoming incredibly expensive to maintain. Repairs cost a fortune, and some people in Paris even thought it should be torn down. Most people would have forgotten the article. Victor saw an opportunity. He figured that if people already believed the government was struggling with the tower, maybe they'd believe it had secretly decided to sell for scrap. So he forged official government documents, rented a suite at one of Paris's most luxurious hotels, and invited 6 of the city's biggest scrap metal dealers to a confidential meeting. Nothing about the meeting seemed unusual. The location was impressive, the paperwork looked official, and Victor carried himself exactly like a senior government official. He calmly explained that the sale had to remain secret because the French public would never accept losing such a famous landmark. Then he asked them to submit bids. One businessman immediately caught Victor's attention. His name was André Poisson. Poisson was trying to establish himself in Paris, and winning a contract like this would make him one of the biggest names in the scrap metal business overnight. Victor knew exactly how to use that ambition. A few days later, he invited Poisson to a private meeting, and he casually hinted that government officials weren't paid very well. He never actually asked for a bribe, but he didn't have to. André offered one anyway. Historians aren't completely certain of the exact amounts, but many believe the bribe was probably around 70,000 francs, while the purchase price may have been close to 1.2 million francs. Whatever the real numbers were, André handed over a fortune, believing he'd just bought the Eiffel Tower. Victor thanked him for his business, and he quietly left France. For days, André waited to hear when he could officially take possession of the tower, but nothing happened. Eventually, he realized he'd been tricked. He was so embarrassed that he never even reported the crime. He couldn't bear becoming the man who bought the Eiffel Tower. That single decision gave Victor an unbelievable idea. I mean, if nobody reported the scam, maybe he could sell it again. Just a few weeks later, Victor returned to Paris, forged another set of documents, rented another luxurious hotel suite, and started the entire scheme all over again. At first, everything went exactly as planned. Then, one of the businessmen became suspicious. Instead of reaching for his checkbook, he decided to verify Victor's credentials. The moment Victor realized someone was asking questions, he didn't argue. He simply disappeared. By the time the police started looking for him, he was already gone. Selling the Eiffel Tower should have been the scam of a lifetime. And for Victor Lustig, it was just another job. He continued swindling people across Europe and the United States until 1935, when the U.S. Secret Service finally caught him for counterfeiting. This time there was no escape. He was sent to the famous Alcatraz, where he remained until his death in 1947. I've always loved this story because it reminds us that the best scams don't begin with a lie, they begin with trust. What's the most unbelievable true story you ever heard about? Let me know in the comments. I may feature it in a future story. Until next time, remember, every ordinary person has an extraordinary story. I'm Amber Joy, and I'll see you in the next story.